late.
Oh, we just started to. Okay, get this thing out of the way. All right, I'll call the meeting to order. Any public comment that's not about anything not on the agenda? Okay, hearing none. I'll entertain a motion to accept the minutes of the December 21st meeting, 2020.
I move to accept the minutes of the December 2020 meeting. Gosh, I'm making a mess of this, aren't I?
2020, 2120. Okay, is there a second?
Second.
Okay, any additions or corrections? Hearing none. All those in favor of accepting minutes, say aye.
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 Opposed? Okay, I'm trying to get speaker view, but gallery view here. Okay, where are we here? Warrants and bills. I sent you the list of the bills, and it's pretty straightforward. Any questions?
I had one question.
Yeah.
So I see on there's 3 items related to the fire department fast squad equipment, the vehicles.
Right.
So I don't remember does the town just cover the cost of the initial purchase on the equipment and then the village is responsible for the repairs, or is the town supposed to be upkeeping the equipment as well?
I believe it's the first, that the town buys the equipment and we keep it up. Does anybody have any different opinion or knowledge?
Good question for the chief.
Okay. There was a lot of repair, and one of those trucks is 1992,
Yeah.
Getting to the point of diminishing returns.
Right.
Okay.
I have a dumb question also.
Yeah.
What are pennies and what is our relationship to the Saxtons River Recreation Area?
Okay. When you were in high school, maybe.
Are they those little covery things that distinguish one team from another?
That's it.
Okay.
And the rec is part of the village in the fact that they come under our insurance. Otherwise, they operate sort of independently. They raise their own money. We don't.
Well, Louise, the village owns the rec area.
Right. We own the property.
We own the rec area, but there's a rec committee that does its own fundraising to cover rec activities, but it's owned by the village.
Right.
But we pay for items like these pennies?
Well, they have a budget of money that they have raised.
But it's under our oversight?
Yeah, we take
their money and expend it the way they tell us.
Right.
Okay.
We write the checks, but just, convenience. The reason is purely because of the insurance, that they needed insurance and we have it under the VLCT.
Okay.
I'm trying to get my full screen here, so I feel like, oh, there we are. Anything else? You notice that we did receive some money. Did I put that on yours?
Doesn't look like it. Well, maybe on a second page.
No.
I see at the bottom, received $5,000 Athens fire coverage, $11,000 sewer fear arrearages.
Right. That's the first payment for the sewer arrearages for the inn and the Vermont Academy. And there's another $2,400 or so coming in for the residents. Those are that check was for the non-residential, and then there's another check coming from the state. So that's money that people applied for to help them pay their sewer bills. So it comes directly to us. And I don't know if you know this, Amy, but we provide fire coverage for Athens, and we charge them $5,000 a year.
No, I didn't know that. I would have guessed they were under Newbrook or Grafton.
No.
Okay.
And
know.
that about pays for some of the repairs on the trucks, I guess. I don't know.
So they do not have their own fire
No,
trucks?
they used to, but they disbanded because they couldn't maintain it.
Wow.
All right, committee reports.
Do we want to,
We need a motion to,
Oh, yeah, sorry. We need a motion to adopt, accept, whatever the word is, the warrant.
I move we approve
Approve, that's the
the
word.
warrant for 10 invoices totaling $13,110.50.
Okay, is there a second?
I'll
I didn't-
second that.
What is it for?
What?
I didn't hear him. Well, what was the motion for?
For the warrant, to approve the warrant, the
Oh.
bills,
All right, sorry.
paying the bills. Okay, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Okay. Okay, I guess we can talk about the storage building. Kevin, are you there? He was here. Where'd he go?
I see his name and now he's not muted. Great.
Yes, I'm here
Oh, there you are. Where are you? I can't see you down there.
on my couch.
No. I don't see you on my screen.
bottom center on my screen.
Oh, that's Matt. That's what I see.
Oh, well,
Okay. You did not submit a revised contract, right, Kevin?
I did about an hour ago.
Oh, I checked my email. I didn't see it. Well, I haven't seen it. Has anyone else seen it?
Nope.
Not my email, no.
You have it on yours,
No, I don't.
Carl?
No, I do not.
Did you submit it to Saxtons?
I did, yeah.
Well, I checked my email recently and I didn't see it. So,
Did everyone receive the note that I sent out today?
yes,
Yes,
about the payments.
Well, about all of it, more than just the payments.
That's the only thing I saw. When the payments would be made.
No, it wasn't just that.
There were seven items. Is that it? 7 sentences?
That's correct. You have it in front of you? I didn't. print
Yes,
it.
I do.
All right. Is that something you want to go over now, or since we're talking about the storage building, or?
Sure.
I would, my recommendation is it would be part of the contract that is signed.
Okay. And Kevin hasn't seen this yet, right? Either, right? You didn't send it to him, Matt, right?
No, I sent it to all of you first.
Okay. Well, have the rest of you seen it?
I can
Yes.
forward
I
it.
have.
Should I forward a copy of that to Kevin so we can
Yeah.
take a look at it right now?
Sure.
Do you have access to internet there, Kevin?
Yes, I do. It's
All right, let me,
working a little herky jerky
forward
right
this
now for
to
some
you.
reason, but
all right, that should be on its way.
did you get my email, Ben, about with another copy of the revised contract?
Let me just check. Oh. Yeah.
I didn't receive anything.
Think. Let me, forward that to the rest of you.
Can't really get into my computer because I'm on it without losing everything.
Okay, I just forwarded Kevin's revised contract to everybody. I don't know if you're going to be able to get that.
I got it.
Okay, I've got it.
So Kevin, do you want to just walk us through this maybe?
Well, I mean, it's in looking at Matt's suggestions. I mean,
Um,
my intentions are pretty much right in line with that. Only will my expectations are to get it done quicker than the 6 weeks. So yeah, I mean that down payment amount isn't necessarily based on special order items exactly, but it's pretty close to what that cost is. So, I mean, in general, it's, we're,
So the question is, what you're asking for is a down payment. Does it cover all that I listed on there?
it doesn't, it doesn't cover it all.
So
It doesn't cover like the garage door, I mean, and the man door and the siding and shingles, but it does probably 90% of it. And I'm okay with that, just because I'm not, the down payment isn't necessarily to cover those costs. It's more to even the flow of cash due to having to submit for billing through the board. And, the board meets, every other week. So potentially, through the first and second billing cycle, I could be, 90% complete with such a small structure. So I was just using that request for a down payment just to kind of even that out and soften the financial blow to a small company. That's all.
Right. So the list that I came up with, I guess I just feel as though that the money, the down payment should cover all those special order items, because as you and I both know, once you order a special order, you own it. So we want that I would want that to be covered, and so that it is available, and you're not putting up walls and then waiting 4 to 6 weeks to get trusses in.
Very reasonable, Matt. I appreciate that. I can revise that to make it reflect that cost accordingly.
I'd like to cover all those special order costs, have them available before construction starts, just so you don't stand walls up and they're out there in the bad weather. Then it's a pretty straight shot.
I agree.
Okay. Does anyone have any questions about the list that I sent along, or want to change, delete, or add to those?
No. As long as it's okay with Kevin.
I think it sounds very fair and reasonable. I'm looking forward to kind of getting things moving along with it.
Okay.
Right. And then obviously, so you'd need to just incorporate those in this, change your down payment dollar amount to cover all those items.
Kevin, do you have that figure now that we could just pencil that change in?
I do not. I don't have it off the top of my head. Let me look through my notes here, and I can give me,
In the
3
meantime,
minutes.
do any trustees have any issues with the contract? Does it include the things that we mentioned last time? Are we ready to accept it with the change in the amount for the special orders? Once he has that.
I'd like Dan to include the list of items that I sent along, just so
Okay.
that's part of the contract.
We can, we can approve it with the proviso those will be included, and then so that we don't hold this up anymore. And then you can rewrite it, and then we could sign it, physically sign it.
Yeah, I should mention that the permit has not been submitted to the fire safety people yet. Kevin just sent me the design for the roof trusses that they needed. So I think I have all the pieces that need to go in. And I've talked to the assistant fire marshal about it. So that could probably get dropped off tomorrow. It has to be submitted apparently both on CD and in paper format.
Wow.
So I'll do that in, does that sound reasonable to you, Kevin? Matt, I'm sorry. I was astonished to hear about saving a CD. I don't know.
Yeah, that's easy.
Yeah.
I don't have a computer that makes CDs anymore.
I had high hopes for you. I thought you were going to get it done in that one cup of coffee, but I guess.
Well, they probably take a thumb drive, but
No, but the best part of the conversation was talking to Scott Flesher, who is their plumbing inspector now, and wanted to know more specifics because he lives in Saxtons River and he wasn't sure where we were putting up this storage shed. So that was it. It made me feel like the whole process was a lot more doable and easy to walk through. But Kevin just sent me the design that I needed. So, and I have the Lawrence and Lober permit information, so that can all go in tomorrow.
is there a fee?
Yeah, it seems to me it's around $800. Do you want me to yank that up? It's 8% of the total contract.
Okay. So we can accept the contract with the proviso that the permit is issued. Right?
Sure.
Yeah.
You can have that caveat in there. I don't see that there's going to be any issues with it, but certainly.
So Kevin's working on his figure.
Yes, I am.
Okay.
I'm way off, Louise. You can relax. The fee is $290.
Okay, I thought you said something like that before.
Yep.
Oh.
It's a percentage point or something.
Yep. It's 0.08% of the total.
Oh, the 8, you thought it was the 0.8 you heard.
0.008 of the total.
Okay, that's more reasonable. So somebody start thinking about how you want to put this motion into words. You approve a contract, you accept a contract. What do you do?
I'll take a stab at it. I move we accept the contract provided by Kevin Douglas with the payment and construction details suggested by Matt Brennan. Kevin, this is your chance to speak up.
And about that, you have to say something about the permit, assuming with
Contingent upon
approval of the permit.
say that.
Okay, okay, Amy?
That's fine with me. Do you want to
Okay.
read it back, Carl?
Oh, yeah. You move that we accept the contract with amendments to the payment schedule and construction something, and I didn't catch that.
Construction something.
Referring to the permit.
I don't remember.
Did I?
With the payment and construction details suggested by Matt Brennan,
Okay,
subject to the permit being approved.
okay. So that we accept the contract, subject to the amendments to the payment schedule and construction details suggested by Matt, and contingent on issuance of the permit.
Yep. And it should say the contract from Kevin Douglas.
I
Yes,
should say Spring Hill
from Spring Hill Construction.
Construction.
Kevin, are you still with us?
I still am, yes.
Is that acceptable to you?
What?
The motion?
Oh, we haven't voted on it yet.
I
No, we're
understand
talking
that.
to about Kevin's agreement with it.
Well, who said that? He said that.
That was Ben.
Ben said that.
Oh, Ben said, sorry. I can't see Kevin, so I can't see whether his mouth is moving.
Okay, I can turn on my video if you'd like.
I want to see your lovely face. It's like
If I can
talking
figure
to
out how
a
to do it.
ghost. No, you go down the bottom or someplace where it says show on the top right or someplace.
Okay,
Oh, okay.
Kevin, I guess my question, I just don't want us to approve something that's not working for you, but
So the contract as I have it is fine. And then I've worked up the list of items that Matt has asked for the special order items. If I'm correct in my understanding, is the roof truss system, the shingles for the building, the siding and trim for the building, the garage door, and the man door, all being the special order items that would be non-refundable, non-returnable. So that total for all of that material is $8,750.
Okay.
So my initial deposit doesn't cover that. If you'd like me to change that in the contract, I can.
Yes.
Yes.
It's up to the board. Obviously, I'm okay either way.
No, I think I would prefer that it would be the 8,750, and you can change it to the contract. We can add that to the motion that the down payment will be $8,750 to cover special order items before construction starts.
so that
Go ahead.
so that covers item 1 of 7 on the list that Matt circulated by email. And then the other part of the motion was to incorporate the other, the 6 points, plus the contingency for the approval of the permit. Do I have that correct?
Right.
Yes.
Okay. And Kevin, is that all acceptable to you?
That is acceptable to me.
Okay.
Great.
All right.
So it sounds like there was one more item that we wanted to add to the current motion, and that is the down payment of $8,750.
Yes, he did add that.
That was
Oh, that is part of Matt's payment schedule,
yeah,
but we could,
exactly.
Right.
Oh,
but-
I see what you mean. Because it's part of the payment schedule, it's part of the motion.
Right, but on the actual contract, it's 7806. So
Mhm.
before it gets signed, change that number on his contract.
So why don't we just amend the motion then to cite that specific figure?
Yep.
Okay. Amy, will you amend your motion to?
Yes, I'm happy to do that. So the motion, Carl, should read as I gave it originally, but add the figure $8,750 for the down payment.
okay. So this is an amendment, right?
I'm just revising my original motion. I don't think we have a second yet. Have I lost track?
We haven't voted.
No, we don't have a second on the original motion. yet.
So I think since we don't have a second, we don't have to go through the formality of amending it.
Right.
We could just change it at this point.
It's called massaging.
Adding to it.
Okay.
All right. So,
Did we also want to specifically include the construction details that Matt's proposed, or?
yeah, yes, that was part of her original motion.
Yes.
Okay, so that would be in the wording of the revised contract then?
Yes.
Yes, okay. Thank you.
All right. So Are we
I
ready?
can add that underneath this, my added section of contract schedule.
Okay,
Okay,
Yeah. That's fine. That'd be easy enough. I can do that and get that back to you tomorrow morning. Unless you want me to do it right now.
no,
Tomorrow
Okay.
morning's fine.
We just need to approve it, so we're just making sure all the details are there that we vote on.
Nice.
all right, so Carl, would you read the motion, please?
okay. Second, I gotta flip back the page. Move to accept the contract from Spring Hill Construction with the amendments to the payment schedule, including a revised down payment of $8,750 and the construction details as proposed by Matt Brennan to be included in the revised contract.
The
And
permit,
contingency for the permit approval.
Contingent on permit approval.
There we go.
okay, all right.
Good.
Is there a second?
Second,
All right, any further discussion?
Who seconded that?
I did.
Okay,
Anything else? Kevin, you have anything else to add at the,
I don't believe I do. I think I'm
all right,
square here.
okay, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, okay, great.
So just to be clear though, Kevin, it sounds like that you'd want to wait on that permit to be approved before you order any special items, right? Is that my
Well,
understanding?
that, I mean, it doesn't, if the board feels that the permit in all likelihood is going to be approved, then I don't have a problem with ordering the materials. And I mean, it's going to take 4 to 5 weeks trusses. So by the time the posting is done for the permit, ready to build. I mean, Matt, what do you suggest on that one?
Yeah, no, I'd say order them. I think it's a pretty slim chance that the state's gonna say, no, you can't build on a storage building on a foundation that was previously there. Worst case scenario, we own those materials until such time as we can get a permit.
Okay,
Well, except we haven't approved a contract because there's a contingency on the permit approval.
oh,
We approved it. I think construction of it is not gonna start.
No, I believe what we just voted.
we approved the contract contingent on
Yeah.
permit. Yeah,
That's why I wanted to clarify that. That was my understanding, was that we were basically saying that permit should be coming shortly. And once that comes, then the contract is signed at that point.
Well, what we
We
can
need
do,
to change that up.
Amy, where are you with your?
I have the materials now. I need to, I was thinking that I should take them in to Springfield, drop them off. But that would normally happen tomorrow.
do you have any idea how long it takes? Did they
No,
give-
I don't have any
They
idea.
didn't give me any indication, even with our inside man. Well, perhaps we should amend it to say that with construction to begin, we can sign the contract and with construction to begin when the permit is in place. We could change it to that. Would that solve the problem? So we would have the contract, he could
What
store,
are you wanting to do with this,
what?
Ben?
What's that?
What are you wanting to do with this?
Well, I wanted to make sure that we were clear on what we were authorizing Kevin to do. And I think the way we just passed that motion, he would need to wait until that permit's approved to order the special order material. But I'm okay doing another vote now to authorize, expending the $87.50 immediately on the special order items, and then just having the construction start once the permit comes in.
All right, is that your
I don't
motion?
think there's much risk either.
So hold on, before we get to a motion, I'd like to point out that Kevin's contract under 8, business licenses, permits, and certificates. The client represents that any and all permitting required by the local municipality or state for construction has been obtained, which it hasn't. So that's Kevin's condition.
So we did say upon approval of the permit, upon receipt of the, which is basically what you're saying, Amy. That the contract isn't valid until we get the permit?
I think we can't sign the contract
Until we have the permit.
because the contract says we represent that we have the permits.
Okay.
I'd forgotten that.
So the motion could pass as it is then?
No, I don't think so.
Well, we're
Well,
saying,
it did pass. We
no, I
already
mean,
passed it.
it's okay because we are saying that it's contingent on the permit. And the contract says that.
I guess we've approved the contract, but I guess we can't sign it. Is that correct? Or Kevin can't sign it? I don't know.
Ben, do you want to make a motion to
Oh,
authorize the purchase of the special orders, or are we going to wait for state to
Yes.
come on?
okay, that would be a side, right? A separate.
If we, so if we wait for the permit, we're talking about what, undetermined amount of time to get that permit approved?
Yeah.
Days?
Things seem to be pretty screwy right now. We could give it a week. We could, Amy could, bring all that stuff up in it and make some phone calls and emails and say, can you look at this and at least give us some idea of if it's going to be approved. I'm on a project now that it got approved, but they never sent the actual permit. That wasn't part of my deal. So do you want to just give it a few days, end of the week?
Well, no, I'm just trying to understand roughly how much time do we expect that it's going to take for the permit, and then understand how that affects Kevin's plan for moving forward with the project. Just to see how critical it is to order these special order items now versus after the permit comes through.
Well, it sounds as though Amy should finish up the permit and see if she can get some type of verbal, yeah, it looks like it's no big deal. It's more on their end, taking the time to do it. If they're on larger projects or really backed up, they're not going to give it much attention.
So my interpretation of the motion that we passed is that Kevin doesn't have any contract and any authorization to move forward with ordering any special material until such time that the permits come in, at which point we would then sign the contract and move forward. But so that's the way things currently stand, my understanding. If Amy finds out that the timing is such that we should authorize moving forward with those special order items earlier, we'd have to then meet and make a motion to that effect.
So again, I'd just like to point out that it's Kevin's contract that also duplicates the need for the permit, that when that contract is signed, we, the client, the Saxtons River Village trustees, say that we have obtained all of the permits. And that isn't true at this point in time.
Right. Well, in Kevin's contract, that's protecting him to us saying, oh yeah, we've got the permit, and he goes in and builds it, and lo and behold, there never is a permit, and and the state is asking him why. So that's to protect himself. So are we waiting? Is that what we're going to do? See if we can get a determination in this week, at least, some type of verbal, yes, that it's not going to be a problem. And then we can have a special meeting and authorize ordering of special materials, special orders. Is that what you're looking to do, Ben?
That's my understanding of the motion we just passed.
Okay, I guess that's where we are then.
Okay with me. I'm easy on special meetings. Seems to me we've been able to meet very quickly. It's only 24-hour notice.
Okay,
All right, Kevin.
Quite all right.
but.
I mean,
ba-
I
bas-
can make the adjustments to the contract. I'll get that out tomorrow.
Okay.
In my mind, if you guys thought it would be, easier for everybody, I could sign the copy after you verbally approve it, that everything is good. I can sign it, give it to you. You can hold it and wait until you physically have the permit in hand. If that was easier for you to release the funds to order the special order items, however it works out to get through the wording of all the stuff. I mean, we're all aware of what's going on. It's a small building. Such formalities are interesting.
Right.
Yeah.
Unfortunately,
We have to cover ourselves.
Okay.
All right, that sounds good.
Pardon?
Sounds good.
Sounds good. He's going to make the revisions to everything, get it to you, Louise, with his signature, and then we'll.
You can scan it and send it, sign it and scan it.
Yes.
Okay. Okay. Anything else on this?
Nope.
We do have to approve the contract with Lawrence and Lober for the electrical work. I sent that out today.
Yeah, what was the change on that? Anything?
On the Lawrence and Lober?
Yeah.
No, I didn't make any changes. That's just what came.
Okay.
I have two questions about that contract.
Okay.
The first, have we met all the requirements of our procurement policy?
On that contract or?
That contract.
Well, we had two, we didn't advertise it, but I think there's a threshold for the advertising, I think. And we did have two bidders. What else?
Well, but I'm not sure the fact that we have two bidders means anything if our procurement policy says we should advertise this.
I don't know. I don't have it in front of me.
Advertise what? We advertised the.
We advertise the building without electric, right?
Yeah, we didn't elect.
Electric is a separate issue.
Right.
And so I'm not sure the fact that we got bids for the electric without advertising doesn't meet the requirements of our procurement policy.
What does our procurement policy say as far as the amount of the cost of the project related to how much you have to advertise?
Let me look that up.
I did check the other against our procurement policy, and we did meet all the requirements, except that Kevin was not a member of the federal SAM program. I forget what it stands for.
Okay.
But he is now.
Threshold is less than $3,000. Does not require competitive proposals.
Okay, so it's a 4,000 something.
So it's over that threshold.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, where are you reading that, Carl?
I am reading that under 5, competitive proposals, except as noted below. Village will solicit multiple competitive cost proposals as part of the procurement process. Exceptions, the dollar exception is expenditures less than $3,000 do not require competitive proposals.
That's correct, but there's two other exceptions.
So what the other exception is, we should use one of the procurement methods specified in 2 CFR 200. I don't know what those are. And the other is that we can forego competitive proposals if it's not practical or appropriate to seek competitive proposals.
So this is procurement from federal grant funds.
Yep.
So we have to use one of the methods specified in 2 CFR 200.
Anybody know what they are?
And
I don't see,
so that's then on the form.
methods of procurement to be followed, which would be a micro purchase, small purchase procedure, formal advertising for sealed bid, competitive proposal, non-competitive proposal.
So we could select non-competitive proposal if we agree that that's an appropriate method.
That's one of the options?
It is, and we did.
But what are the criteria for saying that it's appropriate to do that rather than a competitive proposal? It doesn't make sense to me that it should be that easy. If the point is to be open and transparent, it would seem to me there'd be a higher bar to that than just that we haven't gotten around to doing it.
Yeah, I don't remember what the requirements were for that.
I think it behooves us to make sure that we're following our own procedure and following requirements of the granting agency before we go ahead and move on this, because it just doesn't feel right to me. And I can't say for sure that it says we can't do it, but it just doesn't seem sensible.
So do you think how did they learn about the electric companies?
So how about getting another bid on it?
Huh? What?
How about getting another bid on it? Then we'll have 3. Is that what we need? Or is the fact that
I think we need to advertise for a
I
bid.
don't think that's the.
The issue is whether or not we've advertised.
They learned about it through the advertisement we had for the building. But it didn't specify the electrical work in the ad. So it wasn't a direct advertisement to electrical people. So are you saying, Carl, you want us to have an ad about the?
I'm saying maybe we need to. What was the original wording of the ad?
Oh, I don't know.
Didn't have anything about electrical work in it.
No.
It specified
Just the construction of the building.
the construction, but it did not specify anything about electrical.
No.
So I don't think that we've advertised. Now, I think that somebody responded to us because of that ad, even though it wasn't electric.
All right.
And I don't remember where Lawrence and Lober's original response came from.
I think that came from Matt's legwork.
Rob, I had Rob Wheeler contact.
So did Rob Wheeler reach out to other than Lawrence and Lober?
No.
Okay. So the other company, the Keene company, just heard about it.
I think they saw the ad for the building.
Right. So that doesn't count because anyone,
I don't think we've met the procurement policy.
okay, so are you proposing that we put an ad in?
Well, I'm proposing that we make sure that we're following our procurement policy. And if not, that we do whatever is necessary to make sure that we're following our own policy.
Okay. When are we going to determine whether we're following our policy and how?
Well, I think that what it means, what has to be done is we have to go back and look at the requirements in the CFR
Okay. So,
or picking amongst those different methods.
okay.
So is that something you're planning to do, Carl?
Well, I wasn't, but I could. Yeah, I can do that if we think that's necessary. Ben, what's your opinion? You did the legwork, a lot of the legwork on this version.
Yeah, I'm reading the CFR requirement right now, and it's, as you'd expect, there's it's not very straightforward. So I think you could potentially justify here. Yeah, so I think what we've done, because we did have more than one bid came in for the electric, right?
That's true.
Yeah.
Right? Or we got a couple of quotes.
Yes.
And trying to find the beginning of the section here.
I can imagine that there would be other people who would have sent a quote in if we bid for this as an electrical job locally.
Yeah.
I can think of a couple of local people who might have.
Right. Yeah, I mean, the CFR makes a cutoff for micro purchases at $3,000. So they're basically saying if you're spending less than $3,000,
You don't have to put it out to bid.
You don't have to do any kind of bidding. Then there's small purchases, and there's they don't list a dollar value, but there's a calculation method. So it's called the simplified acquisition threshold. So I don't know what the formula is for that, but it may be that that this $4,000 amount, 4,200 or whatever amount might come under that. So we might be able to justify a small purchase. Then you've got the sealed bids, advertised sealed bids. That's always acceptable. And then the procurement by competitive proposals. So that's what we did, where we got a couple of proposals. And it just says it's generally used when conditions are not appropriate for use of sealed bids, which I think we could possibly make a case for that, given the dollar value and the cost and hassle of going through the sealed bid process. So it's kind of up to.
Who did the work on the original bill, on the new building for electrical?
Was it Lawrence and Lover?
I don't know.
I don't know.
I don't know. So.
Well, I think that the safest and most appropriate thing for us to do, since we haven't actually solicited proposals for the electrical, and the proposals that we have came in from private contact in the case of Rob, or from a bid on when we advertise for something else, I think we should advertise for a bid on the electrical in order to comply with the intent of our procurement policy.
Okay.
I think that we should do that.
Well, I'm looking at the a description of the purchases, the small purchase procedures for purchases between $3,000 and $150,000. And the procedures can be relatively simple and informal, but price or rate quotations must be obtained from an adequate number of qualified sources.
What's adequate?
So I would argue we did do that.
Yeah. Yeah, we're not talking about a project that's the new treatment plant. We're talking about a storage garage with very minimal electrical work.
Yeah. And if you look at it as a percentage of the overall project, it's small. But Carl, if you feel strongly about this,
I think it's the appropriate thing to do.
okay.
So Carl,
We put it to a vote.
what do you want to do again? You want
I-
to start at the beginning and advertise?
I think that we should put an advertisement out like we did for the construction of the building. We may not get any other.
But we're looking at another month. And the,
No, we don't have to look at another month. For starters, it's not going to hold up the construction of the building.
Correct.
Secondly, you just put a short window of time that the bids are due. We're not going to give somebody 6 weeks to come up with an electrical price for that when we have prices
Right.
and advertise.
but we have to submit a permit application for the electrical work. We don't. The electrician submits a separate permit application.
Right, he's taking care of that. We don't have to worry about it.
Okay,
We can build the building without the electrical.
okay.
Yeah. But just getting back to Amy, I think what you found, and I'm did a quick search as well. It does look like the simplified acquisition threshold is $150,000.
Yep.
So that's justification right there for not having to advertise the bids. It's basically saying that between 3,000 and 150,000, you just need to get more than one bid. I think that's the way it was worded, and to move forward with based on that.
So what is the sense of the meeting?
But
Are we, Carl, if you still feel strongly we should have an ad? Or does that,
I disagree with not having an ad. I don't know if I feel strongly enough to say we
Okay.
can't do it, but I don't think it's appropriate.
okay. So do you want to have a vote? Whether we should advertise it?
Well, what if we continue to discuss and get a sense of whether everybody feels the same way? So we know how Carl feels. I feel that the small purchase procedures can be used, and we have an adequate number of qualified sources. It seems to me if anyone is concerned, we could acquire one or two more by invitation. And move forward on that basis.
Yep. Yeah, I agree that I believe we meet the requirements of our procurement procedure. We meet the requirements of the federal requirement. That at this point, the reason for advertising or soliciting any more bids is that we feel like we can get a better price than what Lawrence and Lober has quoted, which
I doubt that.
I think you'd have a hard time with that.
Yeah, based on the other quote, which was
I
almost
agree.
twice as much.
I agree.
Yeah, okay. I agree too that we can go with the way it is.
I mean, may I add something?
Yeah,
So in my opinion, if everybody or if certain percentage of the board has is comfortable with what's contained within Lawrence and Lober's proposal, which I have not read it. So I don't know what it is that they are providing that they include. The main reason I did not solicit electrical pricing was I mean, obviously I was aware that there was electrical needed for the building with an electrical garage door opener, but I had no basis for a proposal on electric, the number of lights, the number of outlets, the type of wiring that was required to be used. I mean, with a storage building, obviously the code is limited. You don't necessarily need outlets, if it's labeled a storage building. So if this goes out to bid for electrical, you could receive a wide variety of proposals where any electrician could bid how they see fit that they would want to do the wiring in the building. And it would be hard to discern or compare those proposals without vetting each specific one and asking them basically what's contained within. So to get back to if everybody is comfortable with Lawrence and Lober, I would urge you to stick with Lawrence and Lober with the proposal they have in front of you. They've spoken with the guys at the facility, so they know what you want. So their pricings are typically very competitive in the industry. They do many large projects around, as you know. So I wouldn't hold back from hiring them based on their proposal in front of you.
Okay.
Thanks, Kevin.
The question isn't about their proposal, it's about going through the proper steps of your procurement, so that we are spending the money properly. Correct, Carl?
Yes.
Yeah, but I think I'm comfortable that we've met that requirement.
Yep, I am also.
And just make sure I get it correct in the minutes, what is the method that we are following?
Procurement by small purchase procedure.
Do we need to take a vote, or is it the general consensus of the meeting?
I'm
I
fine.
think if we're going to agree to a contract, we need to vote on it.
I know the vote on that, but I mean, as far as not the contract, the method of soliciting the contract.
Oh,
So I think that's a direct question for you, Carl.
Do we have a motion to accept Lawrence and Lober's price?
We have one
Oh,
a
we
motion. All right, let's someone make a motion and then we'll move from there.
I'll make a motion that we accept Lawrence and Lober's electrical bid for the storage building at the Saxtons River wastewater treatment plant.
I'll second that motion.
All right, any further discussion? All those in favor say aye.
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 Okay.
So one, I guess, point on our procurement procedure is that we do have a form that's part of that procedure
Mhm.
that needs to be filled out and kept on record, and that does need to be done.
Okay, I did that for the other one.
Yeah, so here you just put description of the purchased product, the electrical work of the storage building, check off small purchase procedure.
And you have to go online and check with Sam to make sure there's nothing, no outstanding, whatever.
Right.
Okay. You want me to do that?
That would be great.
Procurement. Okay.
I just have a question. Do we need to specify anywhere how we're doing this, or?
On the form?
No, I mean, does it need to be part of the motion, or?
Well, I think the discussion should reflect that we talked about our
Okay,
procurement policy and the small purchases requirement.
I don't think it has to be part of the motion that we will fill out
No, not part of the motion, just the general
the
discussion.
form. You could just say that I'm going to do it.
okay. Enough.
All right. Anything else?
Do we need Kevin for anything else? I hate to make him sit through this.
We're all set.
It's okay.
Okay, so anything on the fire station building?
Thanks,
Uh,
Kevin.
Thank you. Have a good night, guys.
Hi.
Yeah, I spoke with a gentleman today about design build, just to see if that is relevant these days with this type of project. Does commercial construction, and he seems to be seeing a lot more of those situations where they're advertised as design build. So I'm going to get together with Art Smith one way or the other and come up with some parameters so that we can move forward with something like that.
Is this a new person or is this,
New person, what?
well, the person you're talking to, is this a different person? Wait.
No, on the committee, person that I know who does commercial.
Oh, okay. It's not David Cotton. It's not the place
No,
up in wherever it
I'm
was.
an architect. It's just I wanted to reach out to somebody
Okay,
in the industry to say, hey, is this something that works?
good,
They're actually doing a project right now that's the case.
good.
So as I said, he's seeing more of that, and it seems to help with the overall cost of the project.
Okay,
Still has to be designed.
Yep.
yeah. Oh, back to the sewer plant. Any word on anybody there from Tate and Howard or Penta, whoever it was doing the,
Oh, well, Tate and Howard's getting back to ServPro and asked them to give them an estimate for just the cleaning, not the tearing out of the ceiling. And I heard from ServPro saying that they were going to be talking to Tate and Howard and giving them an estimate. And as far as I know, that hasn't happened yet.
okay. Do we know anything about the baffles or the, whatever you call them, on the noisy pipes?
Oh, did that stuff get installed?
I don't know.
Yes, I heard
Was
it's supposed to have been installed on the 28th, but I
Yeah.
haven't heard that it's happened yet.
I don't know if Rob is back to work yet. So,
I'll follow up with Dexter and see what he knows.
what was the other thing? Okay, so we have some other business under about sewer fees. Amy said you were going to bring that up? Who said they were going to bring that up?
He was going to bring that up.
Who?
I guess it's up to me to bring it up then. So we were asked by someone who has a building for sale, a house for sale in town, whether there would be, whether we could predict sewer fees or other village fees for the coming year. And I wrote back to the individual, Annie Guyon, to say, to my knowledge, they hadn't been discussed since I had been elected. I understand that they are typically the sewer fee is set in January. I guess that's an open-ended question. Again, I'm just learning the cycle of our responsibilities. So
That seems early.
Yeah. In the 2 years I've been here, it's been more like May or June before we set
Yeah.
the sewer fee.
Yeah.
but we didn't in the last year, did we? Am I remembering that incorrectly?
Well,
Yeah, last
one thing that's incorrect in that email was that we did not raise the fee this year. She intimated we had raised the fee. The fee this year was kept at the same as last year, correct, Ben?
I believe that's correct.
We didn't change the fee, so the fee has not gone up this year.
That's right.
Right, but the question was whether we anticipate it going up.
Right, so,
And
and she was just asking if it was going up because it had gone up this year, but it didn't go up this year. So we don't know. We can't predict that.
yeah,
I don't think. You know, it depends on how we come through this year as far as expenses and what we anticipate, and also people's payments of sewer fees affects
right.
how things go.
Yeah, I mean, it may need to increase some this year, but I don't think it would be a substantial increase. I don't know what substantial means, but you know,
I think that she's interested in passing this on to potential buyers, a decision whether or not they want to purchase the house. I'm not sure we want to make an informal prediction.
Yeah.
No, we can't. We don't know.
Um,
At the moment, we are not anticipating raising the fee, but we just can't say. We have no intention at the moment.
I think it's more of a unknown thing.
For what?
Unknown.
Unknown.
We don't know now.
Right.
Yeah.
So anything else?
That answer the question, or
Pardon?
does that answer the question?
I guess so. The answer is we don't know.
Well, I sort of said that to her already.
Is there anything else?
Yeah, I just had one quick thing about our page on the town website.
Yeah.
Do we have a feeling as to how many meetings or what period of time we want agendas and minutes for the meetings to be accessible through the website? Because we have 2020, we had 1 year.
You mean how many years in the past?
No, we don't. Because we just started putting them up for 2020.
Oh, okay.
I'm just wondering,
yeah.
do we want a year's worth up there? Do we want 2 years worth up there? Do we want sort of a link to older ones that doesn't take up as much space on the page? So if you look on the page, somebody who wants to find meetings for a group that comes lower in the hierarchy than we do has to scroll past 25, 30 of our meetings to get to the next group. I don't remember who that is. We could take those off or we could leave them. Chuck
Can you-
says,
Can you reverse it? Can you reverse it so 21 comes on top?
yes, and that's the way it happens now. So the most recent meeting is always on top.
Okay.
But there's the town select board, there's the village of Bells Falls, there's the village of Saxtons River, there's a planning commission, there's some other organization that follows us. So somebody who wants to see the planning commission has to go down through all of ours. I mean, I think it's a good idea to have as many meetings as we can up there accessible.
Is there some way to make a subcategory where you just have all the 20s in one?
I think there probably is. I haven't figured out how to do that yet.
Oh, okay.
But
that's one way to do it, right?
yeah, I think we could sort of hide one link so that everybody could go to the 2020 meetings and find them someplace else, so it doesn't take up as much space.
Okay.
That's sort of a design flaw in the way that the page is set up now. But
Well, I don't mind it, Carl. I'll just say when I've wanted to find out how a board discussed something, I have to admit it's more often been school board than town boards, but I like having everything out there so I can very quickly go and It doesn't seem to me to be a terrible imposition, even if I was on the historic commission and I had to flick through all those select board and Bellows Falls trustee meetings and Saxons River trustee meetings and energy meetings and conservation commission meetings. At least it's all spread out. It's easy to see. So I think the idea of keeping a year up is great. And if you want to do before older agendas or meetings, sure. But it looks to me like that's what our similar town groups have done. It looks to me like they've made the effort to keep up a year. Maybe that's just a design that has to do with the fact that the website is perhaps a year old. But
I think that everybody started putting them up on the new website in 2020. I just happened to ask Chuck if there was a procedure I have to follow. And he said, well, you can do whatever you want to do as far as I'm concerned, but okay, I won't do anything then until he tells me we have to take something off.
Now, there is one important thing we need to discuss, and that is the fact that our treasurer and tax collector wants to retire. And also the delinquent tax collector said she is not going to continue after this year. Celia.
oh, this is news to me.
Yeah, well, she said that in an email to him, which I got a copy of.
So
So,
this is Alex Barrett and Connie Lancaster.
no, not Connie, Celia.
Oh, Celia Bohannon.
Yeah. So this is a big thing. I mean, he's willing to stay on, but he really would like to get off. So we need to be thinking not only of trustees, but of someone who wants to take on that. What he says takes 11% of his life.
I nominate Guy Payne.
Second.
Done. Oh, so are those two elected positions also, Louise?
Yes. Tax collector and treasurer, sometimes it's been two separate people. And this year, or the last 4 years, I guess, it's been one person who receives stipend. So there is a little money
So it's a
involved.
stipend. It's not an hourly
No, it's a
recognition.
stipend. I forget how much it is, but
And that's just for the treasurer, right? Not for the tax collector.
they each get one.
Oh, okay.
But it's a pretty important job, and it's
Yeah.
time consuming, and you have to be able to use whatever Quicken or whatever they're using. So start spreading the news. Start spreading the news. Let's go.
So will the minutes reflect this, Carl?
Will the minutes reflect what? That we need?
That
That the tax collector and the treasurer, the delinquent tax collector and the treasurer have
and the
both
tax
indicated
collector,
that they would like to step down.
the treasurer, tax collector, and delinquent tax collector.
Oh, it's three.
Yeah.
So tax collector is roped in with treasurer at this point, or no?
Yes, yes.
The same,
But it doesn't have to be?
no,
No.
it's two separate positions.
All right. Anything else?
So just a question, this requires some degree of financial skill, right?
Yeah.
These positions, or at least to do the treasurer. I don't know about tax.
Yeah. And honesty.
And I don't know if the tax collector, does the treasurer keep the records for the tax collector?
Pretty much.
Well, yeah.
Pretty much.
They're pretty much sort of interwoven, those two jobs.
I mean, more than financial skills, it requires organizational skills.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mhm.
I can show you the document that I have for the openings for village trustees. Based on the bylaws, there would be some overlap, but of course, a lot of different skills for the tax collector, treasurer and delinquent tax collector, but you could at least take a look and see what you think in terms of the format. Do you want me to show you that?
Send it to us, you mean?
If you can allow me to share the screen, Louise, I can just show it to you. But you've disabled screen sharing, so I can't.
I have.
Yep. I
So-
assume it's your Zoom that we're on.
Well, what are you going to show? Just a paper or the?
Yes.
Well, how do I read it though?
I'm going to, if you give me permission to share
Oh, I see.
the
what you mean
screen,
now.
then I
Okay.
can show you what I have on my laptop.
Okay, share screen. I'm going down to here and it says share screen. What do I have to do?
I don't know,
Share.
if you touch it,
Share.
what does it say?
Share.
Okay, but I want to share my screen, and participant screen sharing is disabled. So we don't want your share screen.
Oh, my share screen. I'm sorry. Okay. I don't know.
That's chat.
Okay. New share. New share. How do I share you?
You give participants, maybe it's view options.
I can't even see it, let alone.
So I am, oh no, I guess I don't want to do that.
You are sharing. How do I get at?
Amy,
stop
do you want to
share?
just circulate it and then we can
Yeah, let's
discuss
just,
next meeting?
Sure.
yeah, that's easier. I have a hard time seeing it anyway.
Okay.
All right, what else? Guy, did you have something you want to say? You're muted, so I can't hear if you're saying something. Let's see, unmute. Ask to unmute.
No, I was just curious, just
Oh.
to stay in touch with what's going on.
Oh, you know,
So
curiosity
I
killed
didn't
the
have
cat.
any comments or but just a denial that I will not be tax collector or delinquent or treasurer.
Well,
Not
start
They're
not
with,
big
my skill
jobs.
set.
we
They're
also,
big jobs.
we also
But
need
trustee.
trustees. Yeah, we need trustees. So start thinking about it and thinking of people. And I gave Amy the lists of all kinds of people, and so she's looking.
Yeah, I'm ready to hand them on or give them
Un-
back. But it was a good reminder for how many people I don't know in the village. And Guy, I'm interested. Ben has been so great with his background of sort of big picture financial oversight. That's been really helpful to me, at least, in coming to grips with the kinds of issues that we have on this board. I'd also like to make sure that we don't become a board that is just people of retirement age. It is an older village, and of course, those are the people I know the best. It'd be
Yeah.
easy to ask all my neighbors, but I don't know. It's a job of some responsibility. So reading over the bylaws reminds me, I am trying to get those into a typed up form so we can put them on the website that Carl's been tending so patiently. My sense, for what it's worth, is that they don't need to be revised. Maybe I'm just leery about taking on something that's going to require more legal input, but it looks to me like they're okay. They do the basics, and my discussion early on with League of Cities and Towns didn't show any glaring lacks or omissions.
Great.
Right.
All right. Anything else? Happy New Year.
See you in 2 weeks.
Gonna be a good one. All right. Oh, we need a motion to adjourn.
Motion to adjourn.
Second.
Okay, and debatable. All in
Aye.
favor, say aye. Good
Aye.
night.
All right.
Night.
Night.